Another far-left reporter from the corporate media tries to take on Pierre Poilievre, and he dispenses of her with such ease, she should probably find a new line of work. Welcome to the Canadian Shield. My name is Sterling. I'm your host. Pierre Poilievre was on the morning shows. He did 3 of the major Toronto media outlets, and this one from Breakfast Television decided that she was going to expose her political bias and not actually remain or maintain impartiality. He took it in stride, as he always does, and then the next things that came out of his mouth completely tore her entire argument to shreds. Because the far-left argument is often rooted in nothing but emotion, it's quite easy to do. It's just fun to watch. This reporter from Breakfast Television, whose name is Karen, ironically enough, decided that she was going to press and push the NDP message, probably thinking that that's the best choice since the Liberal Party is in tatters and completely collapsing in on itself.
Well, first of all, why wouldn't the NDP be running to win the election? If they think that Canadians support them and their promises and programs, then surely the answer would be to trigger an axe the tax election and win it. And if Jagmeet Singh wins the next election, I will respect the result. But clearly he knows that he would be rejected by the Canadian people because he has sold them out to sign on with Justin Trudeau.
You would think that little opinion would be enough for her to say, wait a second, I'm not paying attention here. You know, I mean, it's an obvious point. If Jagmeet Singh is so sure of himself, why wouldn't he have called an election? Why does he pretend that there's a lot that he has to offer when obviously what he is offering is not being accepted or warmly welcomed from the voting public of Canadians? And the answer is obvious. Everybody is well aware that Jagmeet Singh has the same policies and the same politics as the far-left Liberal Party. I mean, the line is so blurred between the two groups, they might as well just call themselves the, New Democratic Liberal Party. But he's not done with her yet, or, she's not done putting her own, tripping over herself yet. Gets much better.
Well, no, 1 million Canadians, more than 1 million Canadians have access to that program, have received coverage to that program. 89% of dentists in this country, according to government numbers, 89% of dentists in this country have signed up for the dental care program. Would a conservative government gut those programs?
So there she is, all hot and bothered, right? She's starting to get a little bit aggravated. Talking over your host is a very poor form of journalism. It's like having an argument across your kitchen table with somebody that you're familiar with. It's considered quite rude if I was to do it to you. Why the far-left media thinks that it's acceptable to do is quite weird. I did a small clip of this woman and the way that Jagmeet Singh was sitting on her couch, and she was quite polite. How can it be a campaign promise or even a campaign issue when it only helps such a small minority of humans, and not inexpensively either? It's only partial coverage from all of the people that put posts in my feed and from all the research that I've done, that most people are paying 40-50% of the bill. But now she makes the mistake of trying to challenge and speak over him, and it's hilarious to watch.
So first of all, you've revealed your own bias in simply accepting government propaganda. We don't know how many people have actually benefited from it. Is that just because you say so, sir? Is that just because you say so? What evidence or data do you have that we cannot trust those numbers? Oh, where do you want me to start? You could start with Monday. Were you awake on Monday? Their deficit was 55% bigger than they said 8 months ago. So we can't trust what they say on financial numbers. Their carbon tax was not supposed to go above 11 cents a liter, and the media parroted those government talking points like you are right now. And the tax is now up to 17 cents, and it's headed to 61 cents. The numbers on immigration, they tell us they can't even tell us how many people are in the country illegally. So when the government puts out a propaganda piece to the media, which then gets regurgitated without any scrutiny, claiming that they've done all of these wonderful things. I'm suspicious. I want to see the evidence. Even if it were true, what you've just admitted is that 40 million people have thus far got nothing from the program. So let's get the actual facts before Canadians, and let's make judgments based on the reality rather than on government propaganda. And that's what you're going to get from me, a government that actually looks at the real numbers and the real facts, not dishonest propaganda from Justin Trudeau and the NDP Liberals.
Respectfully, that's still not an answer to my question, but I do need to move on.
Were you awake on Monday? Oh, see the look on her face when he said that to her? That was excellent. I don't like that she interrupted him. I just feel like that's just something that the top-tiered people don't need to do, right? And so now you're not looking at a reporter so much as somebody who's trying to pick a fight. Somebody who's harboring a lot of resentment to the message that's being put out there by the Conservative Party. Somebody who thinks that people need to switch over to the NDP as opposed to voting for the Liberals, anything to stay away from people who are not far left, which is a strange position, PS, that the far left, the isolation that the far left likes to impose on themselves, demanding that they be included, is always a strange thing in my mind. Nonetheless, I really liked what he pointed to, the fact that he said, so what, from your own admission, 40 million Canadians are not receiving any assistance from this program. And if that's the case, that's the bulk of the country. Of course, she doesn't really want to hear any of that. And then when he lays out all of the times that the numbers have been incorrect, that when he points to her all of the times that she shouldn't trust the authority figure, I find that also very strange about the far left. On the one hand, they will tell you that there is no authority figure that needs to be acknowledged in your life, right? No nuclear family authority figure, this, your spouse, whatever it may be. However, all of a sudden, if they are, your boss, or they are some complete stranger to you, but because they have a certain position, you're supposed to take all of that, what they say, with 100, without a grain of salt in any way, shape, or form. It's just supposed to all come as gospel almost. It's a strange sort of dichotomy if you look at it from a third party. There's very little rationale in it that makes any cohesion. Nonetheless, I feel that she really exposed how badly he beat her when she says, oh, that doesn't answer my question, but I have to move on. Why do you have to move on? Are you not the one directing the questions? Why do you need to move on? Are you moving on because you know that the answer totally took the legs right out from under your very rude attempt to interrupt His Majesty's official opposition leader?
Yeah, we should bring the Parliament back today.
Will you support the border plan that was revealed?
We'll look at it. We'll see what it does. Again, we're not going to do as unfortunately the media has done, and one of the reasons why the media keeps losing so much credibility is because they simply regurgitate what the government says. We want to know how many helicopters, how many drones, how many boots on the ground. So we need to know what's in this plan to reverse the damage that the NDP Liberal government has done to our border.
Okay, Mr. Poilievre, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. I've run out of time. I do appreciate you making the time here to be on VT this morning. Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Happy holidays to you as well, sir.
Now, near the end, she just completely disposed of any form of professional veneer. It began to become quite terse with His Majesty's official leader of the opposition. I mean, you don't want to take an attitude with your host, with your guest. That seems to be quite a way to get a bad reputation. I mean, you want people to come back onto your show and you want to treat them, you want to talk over them, you want to interrupt them, and then you want to give them attitude when they don't tell you what you want to hear. Because you want to believe in your mind that it's acceptable for a host to become rude and argumentative and combative because the individual that they're speaking to doesn't agree with them. Your job isn't to get to agree with them or not to agree with them. Your job is to get the information to your viewers. That's your only role. However, I don't think that any of that occurs to her. I think she just wants to lash out and try to get some points back or whatever it is that she feels that she lost in the argument. I would imagine that it was probably centered around, were you awake on Monday? Which is a great question, though, right? Were you paying attention? Are you paying attention? If you're paying attention, then how can you come up with such a crass answer? And how can you tell yourself that because we don't agree with the small amount of people getting dental, as calling that a solution to the problems of this country, you don't have the right to be upset about that. But clearly she was. All right, I'm going to wrap here. I want to thank you for listening. I would appreciate it if you would like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this channel with all of your socials. I will talk to you next time.